I knew the price of lumber was going to be so expensive due to COVID, I wouldn't have made this stair section so wide. That's a 2x10 by 6 feet long times 5. And by the way, that's where this grinder comes in handy. It's a little electric grinder you can pick up at Harbor Freight instead of trying to pound the screws or pull the screws, just grind them off. It takes a couple seconds. So I went to Home Depot and got some more wood so I can finish my deck. And I got some 2x10 boards here to replace the step boards. And the purpose of this video is what type of screws that you'd want to use to install a deck. These type of screws that use like a square bit, do not use them. First, the square bit rounds out really easily, and second, if you ever have to take it apart, you can't seem to get them out after the deck's been up for a few years. Now, I put this deck up back in 2013, maybe. So 10 years later, I have to redo it, and these screws don't want to come out. This is the kind of screw that you want. The head doesn't wear out that easily, and 10 years later you can get this type of screw out. So again, don't use these type of screws or Phillips screws. Use these type of deck screws. I hope this video helps. May God bless each and every one of you. Don't ever get old. I replaced 2 of the step boards and I put 1 deck board on, and now I have to go in the house because I'm in a lot of pain. And I just don't understand why the VA keeps turning me down, and why the appeal process has taken so long. It's an appeal. It shouldn't take this long. Back when I was drinking, when I was redoing this house, it was nothing for me to work 12, 15 hours a day. But now that I quit drinking, I can't even work an hour. So I pulled out a beer. I was able to take one of the steps off, but my batteries for my drill decided that they're just as old as I am, and they quit. And so I got them on charge. Okay, I got the another step on. But when you're working by yourself, you have to come up with ways to be creative if you don't have the right tools. Like here with this board, it's got to have notches out. Well, my saw, the blade is the wrong blade or something, because it's too loose to actually work right. So here I have the lines drawn out. I got my skill saw set to the depth of this area here, which is the max of my skill saw. I'm going to clamp this board to this post and use my skill saw to cut them out. And hopefully you could see what I'm doing with the sun and all. Clamping the board, using my skill saw. That's the first slot on that line. That's the next slot on that line. Now I have to make random cuts throughout this board. Now I should be able to break these pieces away. Like so. And you still have this rough edge here. So that's where the skill saw comes into play. Again, I don't know if y'all can see that or not because of the sun. But you just take your skill saw back in there. And move it back and forth like that. And now, no more rough edges. It's fairly smooth. But you should be able to see that. No more rough edges. It's smooth. And that's from making several cuts with the skill saw, peeling the pieces of wood out, and then taking the skill saw from left to right. And once you notch it out properly, as you can see, the board fits in there around the posts. It's wider than the other boards, and that's because I didn't want to do a 2.5-inch notch on these boards, as you got a chance of cracking it. So that's why I chose a wider board for this piece here. Yes, I'll probably have to rip one of the boards, but I'm okay with that. And before you screw that board in, you want to measure how far it is. And in this case, it's 13 1/4. So on the other end, I want to make it 13 1/4 also. If not, your boards are going to be, you're going to have to trim away some of your boards as you go back. Well, I got more accomplished so far than what I thought I would with my back issues. I finished the stairs, the top board, there's nothing wrong with it, but I finished replacing the stair boards, got a couple of handrails up, and got that second board on at the end of these posts. So now I need to move all the stuff off the porch and put the boards down like I was saying earlier, and then cut the posts off to 3 feet on the other side. I started them, but like I said, my saw isn't working the best, And so I'm going to have to use my circular saw on both sides. And then build railings like I got on the other deck over here. That's my plan, at least. And then they're calling for rain Friday, so hopefully I'll have it all done by then. So today I was able to put all the stair boards on that I wanted, a couple of the railings, and I got all the deck boards on. And it doesn't get any closer than this, where I had to take a pry bar to get this second board in here. From the left side of the deck to the right side of the deck was off like a 32nd, a 16th of an inch, something like that. But putting the pry bar in, I was able to get that board in. I don't know how I'm going to feel tomorrow. Hopefully I'll feel up to, I have to put railing all the way around this deck. And then I have to finish the other deck. I have to finish putting the boards on the deck here, and I'm going to have to make a step. I don't think the insurance company will enjoy me putting a concrete block there to step up. It's about 13 inches off the ground, maybe, something like that. I haven't measured it, but this railing came from my old deck, and I want to do something similar to the other deck that I am redoing, thanks to my son-in-law, my daughter, and my grandson for doing the majority of the work. You know, me working an hour a day most days, and I only have 40 days to get these pictures done, get them to my insurance company, and let them look at it and decide whether or not they're going to renew my policy. So this is all a gamble. But it needed done. And again, the reason why I'm leaving that railing there is because eventually I'm going to put my deck back. My back is killing me, but I want to do at least one railing. I've built one of these at every house that I've ever owned. They're simple to do. You choose how much space you want at the bottom. You choose how much space you want at the top. You take a 1x2. You cut it to your desired length. I use finishing nails. I'll probably go back and drill holes and put screws in. That way it doesn't come apart. But you put one of those up on each side of the board. And then you cut whatever board that you want for the bottom. And you got to cut the same thing for the other side. And I've already done that. Yeah, I've got blocks at the bottom to lay the boards on. I don't fall on my butt come down these stairs. But you would nail the boards to those strips that you've already put in. I missed that one. can't find my good hammer, so I got a hammer with a bolt holding the head onto the handle. But once you nail strips on these boards, planks, can't talk with a nail in my mouth. You have to cut 3 more. You have to cut these boards that go in the middle, and again, you decide where you want to put them. How far apart you want to put them. And then you nail those boards in, and then you would take 2 of these boards and nail them up on top, and then you would take a top board, a cap board, and lay it across. I saw this in a book, like a self-help book, a handyman's book, and I really liked it. They're easy to build, and so I built them at every house that I've ever owned. As you can see, I got my rails on. Whether they're crooked or not, I'm not too concerned. I used to be a perfectionist, but with my back issues, I'm not really anymore. Anyway, it's time to put the top board down, which is the cap board. And now you have a place to put your drinks, your plate, if you're eating out here. And I only have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more of them. Hopefully I could do that tomorrow. I did put one of these fan type lights. I say fan. They turn in out here. It brightens up this place compared to this light. So I love them. Somebody who's blind like me, they help out a lot.